All right. Welcome back to another mini lesson with Mr. Doherty. This time we are no longer learning about economics. How many of you are super pumped? No more economics. That's what I thought. Um, Anyways, we are moving on to learning about Western Europe. Okay. Today we are going to be talking about where Western Europe is on a map. Okay. If you were to travel there, where are you traveling to? And then we're going to learn a little bit about Alexander the Great, who was a amazing conqueror, okay, general, military genius, and we're going to be learning a little bit about him today. All right, so we are looking at our objectives today. You should be able to identify major physical and human characteristics of Europe and Russia. Okay, and you should also be able to summarize the achievements of Alexander the Great. So by the end of this mini lesson, those are the two things that you should be able to do. All right, where is Europe and Russia? Before I explain that, I gotta play a little song for you. All right. Most of you probably don't even know this, but whenever I say where is Europe and Russia, I think of this song. World is Carmen Sandiego. All right. Well, anyways, that was a show back when I was growing up. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But I don't know why it made me think of it. So, where is Europe and Russia? Okay. So this is a picture from Google Maps, all right? If we were to go from Boston, okay, Logan Airport, you were to get on an airplane and fly across, it takes about 6 hours to get to London, okay? We're going to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. So we fly all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, and Western Europe is this part right here. So we have the United Kingdom, which is England. We have France, Spain, okay, Portugal's down here, Austria, Germany, Poland, Greece, okay, Russia is up in here, okay, so we're flying all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. There are a lot of different countries throughout Europe that we are going to be looking at. Europe also extends up here into Norway, Sweden, Finland, okay, and then, like I said, Russia is over here. So that's where we're traveling, okay? That is where we are headed all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, about 6 hours on a flight, so it's not too bad. A little bit shorter than if you head to California. I mean, a little bit longer than if you head to California, I'm sorry, but not by that much, okay? So that's just to get to Heathrow, which is the airport in London. I actually studied abroad in London. If you ever have a chance to go to London, it is an incredible city, a lot of fun, a lot of things to see. All right. Here is another map, like I was saying. This is a map of Europe, okay, so Western Europe, okay. Remember your compass, you have never eat soggy waffles, so it's over here, okay. This is your western part of Europe, okay, so we have France, United Kingdom, which is England, Ireland, okay, Iceland is up here, Sweden, Spain, okay, Italy, Germany. Many of you have probably heard of a lot of the Western European countries, okay? When we start talking about like the Eastern European countries like Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, some of those may not be as familiar as the Western European countries. And up here is Russia. Russia is a massive country that takes up a lot of Eastern Europe and basically touches both Europe and Asia. Okay, so some people say, well, is it part of Asia or is it part of Europe? Technically, it's part of Europe, but you could almost make a case that it should be part of Asia as well. So, major landforms in Europe. So there are a ton of different landforms there. We have mountains. Okay, we have the Carpathian Mountains, okay, and we have the Alps, okay. The Alps are probably the most famous mountain range in Europe, okay. It extends down here, okay, it goes through Switzerland, a little bit of Italy, Austria, Bosnia, okay, Croatia. It goes. This is the map down here. It's a very, very large mountain range. Very good skiing, okay. I know my wife went when she was a little girl, went to Austria to ski. So if you're a skier, very, very good places to ski in the Alps, okay. Um, so definitely mountain ranges throughout Europe. There's many more than just these two. These are just two of the more popular ones that I decided to give you. Um, but they're spread out through Europe. Obviously, there are many hills in Europe, okay? There are many hills. If you look at a picture of London, okay, there's many just hills rolling, okay? It is hilly throughout Europe, so there are hills, okay? So there's mountains, there's hills, okay? There's also plains. So we have down here, we have the North European plain, okay? That extends about this far, okay? It extends across Germany, Poland, Belarus, okay, through Russia, maybe a little bit of Latvia, okay. Sorry, Lithuania. I'm sorry, not Latvia, Lithuania. So there are many different plains, okay. Plains are just flat, flat, flat land, all right. There could be some mountains around it, okay, but it's just very flat, all right. It's a great place to grow crops, okay, in some places. So there are many plains. The one thing about Europe though is there are no deserts, okay? Europe gets a lot of rain. It's wet. It's very wet in most places. There's also a lot of snow. So like Norway, Sweden, most of these countries get a decent amount of snow. So if you think about their climate is very much like the one we have in New England, okay? They do have winter, they have summer. Um, it does tend to rain a little bit more. They have these seas where it comes off of um, to cause rainstorms, but there are no deserts, okay, which is an interesting fact. We have deserts in the United States, okay, Africa, South America. There are deserts in Asia. So Europe does not have any deserts, which is pretty interesting, okay. So landforms help to create jobs, okay? So if you think about in New England, right? We have a lot of jobs because of a landform. We have the Atlantic Ocean that's right near us, right? So many people are fishermen, okay? We have towns and cities like New Bedford, okay, or Gloucester, or you know, I'm trying to blank on different cities that are on the ocean, but Gloucester, New Bedford come to mind. Those are two very big fishing cities where the people there go out into the Atlantic Ocean. They catch lobsters, they catch different types of fish people enjoy eating. Okay, so landforms do help to create jobs in certain places. So, like I said, plains are landforms throughout Europe. These help people create farms. Okay, farmers can plant, they can grow crops, and they can sell their money. So, in Ireland, they have potatoes. Okay, they grow potatoes on their plains. All right, and they sell them and make money off of them. Okay, mountains. People can work at like ski slopes. They can be ski instructors. They can do different, like operate the ski lifts or things like that. Like that opens up jobs. Um, and seas or oceans. Okay, so we have the Mediterranean Sea. All right, people who are close to the Mediterranean Sea are going to same thing as the Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea. People are going to fish. Okay, people are going to they're going to get on a boat, they're going to go fishing, and they're going to catch fish that they're going to sell back in the markets to the people, okay. So that's a big thing, okay, especially the Mediterranean Sea is a place where a lot of people go to fish, all right. So that's kind of where Europe is, some of the different landforms and different jobs that the landforms help create in Europe. Okay. We're going to be looking at Alexander the Great now. Like I said, we're going to touch briefly on him. Okay. Alexander the Great was one of the greatest military conquerors ever. Okay. His greatest achievements were military. Okay. They had to do with the military. Those were his greatest achievements. All right. He was able to create this expansive um, empire. Okay, that he started over here. Okay, around Greece. Okay, in Macedonia. Okay, over here, and through his ability to recruit men to fight for him, and his um, intellect when it came to the military and how to battle and how to win battles, he was able to create this huge empire. If you look, it expands from here all the way over to India, which was it was unknown. All right, that was just an incredible size empire. All right, one of the first to ever do that. Great emperors such as Napoleon would look at what Alexander the Great did, and he would want to continue to do that when he was the ruler of France. Okay, which you may learn about this year, you'll learn about next year if not. Okay, like I said, his greatest achievement would definitely be the military, and his greatest achievement would be the size of his empire. Okay, just massive empire that he was able to take over by winning military battles. Okay, here's a picture of Alexander the Great. Okay, um, it was obviously before the time of taking pictures, like, right. So we have, this is I believe, a mosaic, which is like little pieces of just little pieces that are put together um, and to make that picture. So I think that's a great picture of Alexander the Great heading into battle. Okay. Um, so Alexander the Great, the climb to the top. All right. You know, like the Miley Cyrus song, like it's the climb, right? Like that's what I think of, right? He didn't start at the top. It's about the journey to how he got there. Okay. So when Alexander the Great was young, okay, he would study under one of the most known philosophers ever, which is a philosopher is like just a great thinker, okay, teachers um, who would help, you know, teach others their ideas, their thoughts. So he would study under Aristotle. Many of you may have heard of Aristotle. Like I said, he's one of the most famous philosophers ever. Okay, so if you've ever studied ancient Greece, you've heard of Aristotle. Okay, um, and Aristotle would teach Alexander the Great basically everything he knew, from poetry, from philosophy, teach him how to read, teach him how to write, teach him anything that Alexander the Great knew. Aristotle really helped him learn. Okay, so Aristotle was one of his great teachers. Okay, so after learning from Aristotle at a very young age, his father, okay, dies. All right, so when his father dies, Alexander is um, the throne is his. Okay, sorry, I'm drawing a blank. The throne is his, so he becomes the king of Macedonia. All right, so at the age of 19 years old, all right, imagine that. So many of you are 11, 12, okay, maybe a little bit older, a little bit younger, right? So if you're 12 years old, we'll just take 12. In 7 years, could you imagine being the king of an empire? I can't. All right. I'm older than 19 and I still can't. All right. So he's 19 years old. He takes over as king of Macedonia. Okay. And people are kind of revolting. They don't really respect him, okay? And he goes in and he says, "No, no, I'm your leader. All right? You respect me, you follow me, and this is what we're going to do, okay?" He really gains the respect of the people by doing this, and people start to follow him, okay? He gets a huge army, okay? The Macedonian people are united as one, all right? And he has this great he has this idea that this is what he's going to do. All right. I'm going to take over. I'm going to have this huge empire. Okay. As a young kid, his father made him believe that, he was destined to be great. He was, brought down from the gods of their time. Okay. The Greek gods, he was a descent of them. So he really believed that he was destined to take over, okay, to have this huge empire. So what he does after he became king, all right, he starts to move east, okay? So he starts to move east, all right, and he starts to take over land. He starts to defeat armies and claims the land, okay, for him and the Macedonian people, okay? And the last thing, okay, one of the biggest things that Alexander the Great did was he was able to defeat the Persians and King Darius, okay? He was able to defeat the Persians, who were one of the most feared armies in Europe, okay? So he's able to defeat the Persians, and his empire is just this massive, massive empire, okay? From Macedonia, okay, all the way to India. Um, as he was going through, he would have people who were living in these different empires start to become part of the Macedonian kingdom. All right, wanted them to be citizens and wanted them to respect him as the king. This is how he was able to keep control of his empire. Okay, the people started to buy in and they became united as well. But every good thing has to come to an end. Unfortunately, many of his men who were fighting for him decided that they had had enough. They no longer wanted to really extend. Okay, they saw that it was just becoming too big, and Alexander the Great had these just gigantic ideas that they kind of didn't want to be a part of anymore. And at the age of 36, unfortunately, Alexander the Great, very young, right? Very young, um, passed away. Okay, he passed away of an unknown disease. I was watching a video about him, and there's a lot of debate of what he died of. Some people think maybe he was poisoned. Okay. Some people think maybe he died of malaria, which is a mosquito-borne illness that spread. No one really knows, but he did die at a very young age. Um, like I said, his biggest achievements for Alexander the Great was by far military. Okay, he was able to create this massive empire because he was such a military genius. Um, so that is Alexander the Great. Like I said, we're just going to touch on different people like Alexander the Great. So next week, next mini lesson, we'll be touching on another great. I think we're touching on ancient Greece. So that is what I have for you today. Here is the exit ticket. I will post it on my message board. I will also put in the comment section for you to click on because I know you are unable to click on this. I hope you enjoyed today. Learned a little bit about where Europe is. All right, where in the world is Western Europe and Russia. All right, that's what I thought of. So sorry for my fantastic voice. I think I should go on to The Voice, but I hope that you guys all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Mr. Doherty, out.